this computer. Okay. See, screen share. Okay, can everybody see the syllabus? Yep. Can I get a thumbs up? Everybody see this? Okay, great, thank you. Okay, instructor me, office hours, don't really have, we're online, so I don't have office hours. Contact me anytime via email, and I'll get back with you really soon. I say 24 hours to give myself some cushion, but I'm pretty good about getting back to students like almost right away. Materials, Wilcox, public relations, writing, and media. Has everybody picked that up? Are you going to get that? Everybody got it? Thumbs up? Thumbs down? No? Shake your head if you have, no, if you haven't gotten it yet. Okay, get on this, get this week. AU has a nice free online copy of AP Style Book, or you can, if you feel free to buy your own and then you have it. They have an online version or hardback version, but everything we do in this class is AP Style. Do you know what I mean when I say AP Style? Are you familiar with the AP Style book? Let me see here. Okay, good. Anybody, let's reverse it. Anybody not familiar with AP Style book? Turn your mic on and say, I'm not familiar. Okay, good. All right, does everybody have the AP Style book or access to it? Okay, now you see there's a link here. AU has, through the library, has the AP Style book for you. All right, just read this on your own, the outcomes and the objectives, format. Our format is going to be Monday morning through Sunday, 11:59 p.m. All of your assignments will be due Sunday at 11:59 p.m. So you're going to have a generous one whole week to do your assignments, starting now through Sunday, 11:59. So that said, in the PR world, there are no excuses. You got to get it out. I really don't like to get emails on a Sunday afternoon with some excuse that an assignment isn't being done or can't be completed, because you have one whole week. It's not like you have a very short window. You have from Monday through Sunday, 11:59. So I'll go over your first assignment at the end of this session. And for those of you who can't hang around, you can I'll send out the recorded version. Grading policy, 94 to 100, A, 90 to 93, A minus, etc. Late work policy, we talked about that. Use AP writing for all assignments. Okay, so this is the way it works. This week we're going to talk about getting organized for writing and writing a news release. Your first assignment is a news release, which will be due, like I said, Sunday, 11:59. And that said, any questions about the syllabus?
For the readings and like the chapter,
Yeah.
will we be discussing it? So class is on Monday, so we'll be discussing it that Monday. So
no, just the opposite. I'm going to be talking about it. Yes and no. I'm going to be going over the summary of what you're supposed to read this week, and then we can talk about it in a week.
Okay, so the readings are for that week. Okay, thank you.
The readings are to get you going, basically, not to talk about next week, but to help you with the assignment. Okay?
Thank you.
For example, if you go to September 7th, now we're not going to meet on September 7th. We'll talk about that next week because it's Labor Day. Preparing fact sheets, advisories, chapter. The assignment is backgrounders and fact sheets, okay? So the reading for the week is to help you with the assignment. And I'm going to talk about the topic at the beginning of the week to also help you with the assignment. Any other questions? Okay, is the screen share still working? No. There we go. Okay. Chapter 1. This is on getting organized for writing. And those of you who have 11:20 a class, go ahead and scoot at any time that you want to, or you can hang around a little longer. Getting organized for writing. This is your reading, chapter 1. The framework of public relations. PR and writing placements are accomplished within the framework of a complete public relations process. The process is research, planning, communication, and evaluation, and a few other things that could be added to that, but those are the basics: research, planning, communication, evaluation. PR people who write news releases fulfill a very, very valuable role. Now, the media doesn't like to admit it, but that they need us. They need PR people. So it's important to foster really good relationships with the media, but not too close, but good relationships, because they're always looking for news. And if you can learn how, and I'm going to help you with this semester, learn how to present the news in a way that's most palatable to them, that they'll use it, and it'll be then in turn good for your client. PR is similar to journalism in that we write with the AP style. It's credible information. It's objective. It's not full of jargon, but there's obviously a different mission. Our mission is to get that journalist or editor to get excited about your story, and then in the best case scenario, use your press release verbatim, which rarely happens. It rarely happened in my career, but as a source for them to call from and use your information to do an expanded and further researched piece that they do on their own. Usually they want to. Usually the editor will tell journalists, "Okay, this quote's good in the press release, but you need to go out and get your own quote." So just be prepared for that. The press release is to really set the table. Rarely does it get used verbatim. Sometimes it does, and it's nice when that happens. Okay. All right, we mentioned the AP style book. There are media directories online. Cision is right now the best and most famous. Starts with a C. And Professor Wilcox suggests that public relations writers also keep current by reading professional journals like PR News. There's also lots of blogs and Twitters out there, accounts about keeping up with what's going on in the public relations field. But I'll tell you what's really changed the PR field for me in my career is social media and online. It used to be back in the day, in the Jurassic days, you would do a press release and put it in an envelope and a stamp and send it and pray that it made it to the mailroom, and then in turn made it to the journalist. Then fax. Then you also had to pray that it made it to the journalist via the newsroom fax machine. There was a person in charge of just ripping and reading faxes and taking it to the journalist. Then a thing called broadcast fax was invented. You could put in all the fax numbers and plug it into this program, and then it would send the release out to all the fax numbers on a rolling basis. And it was busy, it would try again. So it could take an hour, but at least you didn't have to like fax it individually each time. So then along came email, and it just really changed the world, where you hit send, and you could do it to a group email or individual email, but really changed the whole PR world. Okay, Professor Wilcox, the author of your book, mentions Google, Yahoo. These are things you already know in doing research. There's also electronic databases, LexisNexis. That's the old-fashioned site for looking up old articles. Now, most old articles, even Washington Post way back, you can find online through Google. Okay, writing guidelines. Public relations writing starts with the basic steps of determining the purpose and content of the message. First, figure out who you want to talk to and what you want to say to them is very simple. That's how I do it in my business. Two very simple things. Who do you want to talk to and what do you want to say to them? And then once you figure out those two things, you can back into a really good press release that meets the audience and it meets the objective with the information. To work as translators, but this is a really good point. Avoid jargon. Keep it simple. Keep it correct language. No jargon. Do not be over familiar with your language with a journalist. Don't try to impress a journalist with inside jargon or other things that just, it may work and it may not work. So just, well, I was taught in journalism school to write for an 8th grader so that an 8th grader can understand it. Not over the top and not, but don't dumb it down too much. So that's a pretty good rule. Keep it straight, keep it simple, keep it direct, and, follow the journalistic rules that way. Always write in the active tense and whenever possible. All right, these are very simple. Spelling, grammar, sentences, structure, etc. The worst thing you can do is send a journalist a press release full of typos and misspelled words. It's going to get deleted. In the old days, thrown in the trash. These days, deleted in a hurry, because you're competing with, as a PR person, you're competing with. I think most of you all said you're PR majors, right? Thumbs up. Okay. You're competing with a lot of folks, with a lot of messages, with a lot of press releases hitting these newsrooms, hitting these journalists. So make sure that, and that's how I grade, on the AP style, on spelling and grammar and sentence structure. So that's going to be part of your grade on the assignments. It's mission, it's overall getting the message across, but also following AP style, stickler for AP style, just, heads up, hint, hint, wink, wink, AP style and spelling, etc. Don't overhype or exaggerate. If you got a good story, it'll sell itself. Don't overdo it in a press release with what I call flowery language. I think you know what I mean. A press release has a journalistic ring and style to it. Don't write ad copy, okay? That will jump off the page as a no-no to a journalist. The journalists don't like, rah-rah cheerleading type press releases. Turns them off. Okay? All right. Let's get into writing the news release, because your assignment this week is the first press release or news release. We're going to start off with that because, and I'm pleased to see Professor Wilcox agrees with me. A news release is a basic element. It's the backbone of every publicity plan. Further, if you can write a really good press release, this is PR writing. This is why I start with a press release. If you can write a great press release, it translates to all other facets of PR writing. So that's why we're starting with a couple of press releases as the first two assignments. That's the basis, the foundation of good PR writing. Translates to everything else that we're going to do throughout the course of the semester. Like I said, the media journalists are they're flooded with hundreds of news releases, especially now with email. A journalist can go into the office in the morning and just be hit with hundreds of PR related things. So yours has to not only the subject matter, but the lead paragraph have to really grab the journalist. And as you know, news releases, publicity, public relations is the most cost-effective way to communicate. Because what does it cost to have your article run? Tell me, everybody, do the symbol, how much it costs to have your article run. Show me the symbol. There's a very simple, there you go, thank you. Zero. Whereas an ad, the beauty of the advertising is you put your money down and you say, okay, I want it to run on Thursday in such and such section or such and such time on TV. But with PR, you're basically, the good news is it's free media, it's earned media, but you're at the whim of the journalist or editor as to when it's going to run. But that's just the trade-off we have between advertising and being in the PR business. Cost effective. As I mentioned, journalists don't like to admit this, but they need PR people. They need the PR world. There's no way that they can cover the landscape of everything they need to cover without help from PR people. But it's our job to present it in a way that it's not a turnoff to them, that it's interesting and palatable, and they want to hear more. They want to get more information and maybe just do their own thing. And we're going to talk in subsequent sessions about the pitch, the phone pitch. That's still alive and well. Your 30-second, this is why I had you do a 30-second intro, where you're going to do a 30-second examples every week. It's great training for getting on the phone with a journalist, and you have 30 seconds. This is what I heard here about in Hollywood. When somebody's pitching a story idea to a movie person, to a movie exec, they have 30 seconds to pitch that story idea. And if it goes over 30 seconds, they don't want to hear it. So that's what you need to be thinking, 30-second pitch to a journalist. If you go over 30 seconds, you're going to lose them. Just hit it right on the money, 30 seconds. That's a really good, well-timed pitch. Effective news releases must be newsworthy, that the journalist is going to want to do more about. And okay, the basic components of a news release, 6 components: your headline, your contact information, dateline, lead paragraph, and body of text. And Wilcox mentions a 7th component, and I would like to have the 7th component in my news releases. And by the way, on your assignment in Blackboard, I don't know if you noodled around yet on the assignment for this week, but I have like 3 samples for you, okay? Of layout and style and things like that, okay? And one of the things is, you'll notice there's a boilerplate at the end, or usually it's called about us, about whatever the client, and that's where you can just do a paragraph background information on your client. Contact listed, phone, email. Lead paragraph. Now, Dr. Wilcox says the lead paragraph doesn't have to include the 5 W's and 1 H, the who, what, where, when, how, and why. But I kind of like to try to get it all in the first lead paragraph, or in lead paragraph, or for 2 sentences in lead paragraph. Between the 2 sentences in lead paragraph, try to work in the 5 W's and the H. Okay. Here again, write news releases that you think will appeal to an editor's news instincts. You're trying to get them their news instinct antenna to tune into your what you're trying to sell via your press release. Okay, is everybody familiar with the inverted pyramid style? Yes? No? I'll go over real quick. A pyramid inverted. The base is at the top to the point. The base means the most important things at the top of the story, and work your way down to the least important. And that's another thing I'll be grading you on, prioritizing information. If some of the stuff that should be in the lead article or lead paragraph is at the bottom of the release, that's not good. Don't make it hard for journalists to find out the key information by burying it, or what they call burying the lead in newsfeed. Keep news releases factual. I mentioned that. No puffery, no hype. Okay, so 3 types of news releases. The traditional news release, that's what we're going to be working with, and you'll see from the samples, double spaced. Online news release, you don't need to double space. You basically embed it in the body of the email. But typical length, 200, 250 words. I say I like to keep my releases to a page and a half. That keeps their attention and gets the information out. So I also say in the instructions for the assignment, don't go over 2 pages. Keep it to a max of 2 pages. Page and a half is good. So, okay, and this is also what I do, and you know, once you get into your careers, you can do it if you want, or but it's just kind of a good thing that I've started doing, and it works. I'll do a traditional press release as if you were going to print it out with the double spaced and the formatting that way. I attach it to a email, but then I take the press release and I embed it in the email box, and I'll say, okay, attached and below, please find information on da, 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 da. So the journalist has the option of clicking the attachment and downloading it, or just taking it right from the email text box. Is that clear to everybody? Shake your head yes or no. Good.
Could I ask a question about
Yes.
the length, possibly?
Yes.
Do you find that, because you were saying page and a half, but do you find that like just one page in itself makes it too condensed? Like, do you think ideally it should be a page and a half, or do you think maybe a page is a good marker for how long it should be?
I think for what we're going to do, I want to see more than a page. Okay. But there's every situation is different. Maybe you want to do the press release as sort of a teaser. You don't want to give too much information. You want to keep it short. But for our purposes, think a page and a half.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, we lost 7 people. Maybe there's more than I thought. The 11:20 hour. All right. Okay. Let me read your comments here to everyone. No problem. And these to me directly, or this to the group? These chat things.
I think it's to the group about the text list.
Okay. All right. All right. Got it. Okay, back to screen share. All right, so we're going to do the traditional. Start with the traditional, and then when you do things in the real world, you'll do the online version. Plus, I would recommend do traditional and do it as an attachment with double space, etc. 1.5 pages, talked about that. All right.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah, sure.
Does the 1.5 pages include the boilerplate, or is it
yes.
1.5 pages content?
Yes, yeah, include the boilerplate. Okay, I attached these lecture notes, and you can see Professor Wilcox and I, like I said, are on the same page. It's the basis of all PR writing, a really good press release. Write a succinct and engaging press release. Forms the basis for all other PR writing elements. Reference assignment section I've got 3 samples there. Double space, no more than 2 pages. Use at least 1 quote in a press release, okay? Find a source. Remember the 5 W's in the lead. And the lead can be 2 sentences, 1 paragraph, 2 sentences, but try to work it all in, okay? All right, also I'm looking at attention-getting descriptive headline. That same headline will also serve as a good subject line for your email to the journalist, okay? Keep paragraphs short, 2 sentences per paragraph, okay? Accuracy and good grammar, AP style. If you're including information from another source, be sure to include the links to the source, okay? And then include the boilerplate or about us paragraph. That would be the 7th element that Professor Wilcox talked about. All right. Everybody see this okay? This is the assignment. How your assignment's going to look in a Blackboard.
That's not the assignment, what we're seeing.
Sorry?
That's not the assignment, what we're seeing. It's the chapter 1 summary.
You're not seeing an assignment, 8:30 assignment right now?
Nope.
Okay, let me try that again. How about now? (8:30 assignment? Everybody see that?
Yeah,
Okay.
we can see it now.
Okay, good. Let me scoot this over. Oops. Uh-oh. Okay, assignment still up? Can you see the assignment? Okay. All right. So you're gonna write a press release, and your client this semester is a group called the Brazilian Music Institute. And the first week, there's two facets to the Brazilian Music Institute. First, there's a week-long clinic. Then at the end of the week-long clinic, there's a final concert, a closing concert. So this week, you're going to write a release on the week-long clinic. Next week will be the closing concert. So, do the readings, look over the lecture, and you can quote a real or made up person from the Brazilian Music Institute or student, get creative, at least one quote. And the BMI link is to the 2019 event. And because it was canceled in 2020. So when you go to the link, it's 2019. So that's why I say here, you can use a real date, the 2019 dates, or current dates, your choice. Does that make sense? That is for like the dateline in the press release. Use AP style, as I mentioned. And now, okay, here's a major hint. Another hint, hint, wink, wink, nod, nod. Website content writers don't use AP style. So when you go to the website, it's riddled with non-AP style things. Okay, so be really looking for that. And then there are the samples and the lecture. So, and you'll see that in Blackboard. Somebody's mom, hello. Anyway, that's it for this week. Dig into it, dig into the readings, dig into the lecture notes, and contact me anytime with questions. And next week we'll meet at 9:30 on Monday.
So just to clarify, we're not meeting on Thursday.
No. We can get it all done on Mondays. Yeah, but come prepared. Now, if there's something that's really pressing and everybody wants to meet on Thursdays every now and then, I'm open to that. But before I started out as an online instructor, and then I got into classroom instructing at AU. And my experience is that an hour and a half is a really long time to do what we're doing. It's much different than a classroom situation. So we've been doing this for 40 minutes and we accomplished a lot. So that said, any questions, any comments, anything not clear?
I just wanted to clarify that like on our schedules, classes start at 9:45 and then end at 11. And then most people do have class at 11:20 after. And just like that's how the block schedule works at AU.
Right. Okay. Well, because we're not meeting on Thursday, let's move 9:45 up to 9:30. Okay. Like 9:30 to 11 max.
Cool.
All right. So they also call this like a flipped classroom where I'm I'm giving you, you know, a bunch of stuff to do outside of the classroom to get ready for the class. So that's how it keeps it engaging and challenging. So anyway, be on the lookout for really good stories because another thing I wanted to mention, 60% of what you read and see on TV or hear on the radio is PR driven. I would maintain that the style section of the Washington Post or the style section of your local paper is probably almost 100% PR driven. That's how important and valuable PR is to the news world. Now, there are things like, you know, the other 40%, hurricanes, tornadoes, natural disasters that PR people don't drive. So keep that in mind. So be thinking about what jumps out at you as a really good story that you have sort of an inkling, you know, the backstory. Somebody pitched and did a really good job of placing a good piece. Think about that for next week. Any other questions, comments? Then clear? Okay, when you're digging into the writing your release, if you have a question or whatever, you may have questions once you get into the Brazilian Music Institute webpage, and they also have a really robust Facebook page and lots of bios. And the reason why I like it, it's everything. Another thing I wanted to mention, the press release is the building block of really good PR writing. But what we're going to be doing with your client, the Brazilian Music Institute, we're going to be creating a press kit or a media kit for them. Okay, all the building blocks of a media kit. And if you want to show this to a potential employer, that might be a nice thing to do. A lot of my students do that as a demonstration of doing a complete press kit. So at the end of all the facets of the PR writing, well, not at the end of the course, but at the end of whatever's going to go into the press kit, they'll have a nice press kit. So we're starting with the press release, and then we're going to build into a press kit or media kit for the Brazilian Music Institute. Okay. All right. Any other questions, comments? Okay, we'll see you Monday at 9:30. Email me anytime. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. Have a good week.